Names of dating apps I have tried in my life. I start by saying Tinder, Badoo, Bumble, Olosho, To Go, Bigo, Hangout, Horny, which other one again? 8 p.m., Meet for You, Bumpy, Sweet Meat, I Happy Date. Oh my Lord. I know that as I'm saying these names, some of you have carried pen and paper and started writing them down. You will not even wait until the end of the podcast before downloading them. I know you people. Then there are those of you who believe that any guy who has joined more than 2 dating apps is either a cultist or a Yahoo boy. You are laughing. I can hear you people. Well, first of all, I am not a cultist or a Yahoo boy. I do not support it. I do not promote it. I do not appreciate it. I am only a simple young man who is desperately looking for a girl to love and marry. I mean, most of these apps were originally created for dating and meeting new people. Is it a sin? Absolutely not. Love can find you anywhere. If you try offline and it doesn't work, try online. The most important thing is that you try. You die the day you stop trying. Anyway, when I think about the perfect dating app story to tell, so many stories come to mind. There are a lot of stories. I can create a podcast series on its own, sharing different stories about the crazy women I have met online and the erotic things I go through sometimes. Let me know if that is something you would love to hear, by the way. If the yes outweighs the no, then I might just create a set of exclusive episodes where I share my experiences on the erotic side of dating online. You will pay, you will pay. They won't come for free. You will pay. Let me know your thoughts at edgar@checkedgar.com. Just send me an email, edgar@checkedgar.com. Edgar is Edgar. For those sending emails on how they can support me or the podcast, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, Check Edgar, or visit the website, www.checkedgar.com daily for blogs, videos, and other entertaining content. You can always donate on my website or join my Patreon if you like me that much. Everything is on my website. Today's story is quite different from the regular stories about online dating. It's about this particular lady I met on Tinder, a beautiful young lady whose goal on the app was far from dating and making friends. She saw it as a platform to retaliate and deal with men based on a dark past she wasn't willing to let go of. It's a story of love, lust, and revenge. This is Why Am I Still Single? And you're about to listen to Princess from Tinder. Edgar doesn't lie. Let's go. Check. This is a Check Edgar production. A Check Edgar production. This is for the single guys and the single ladies. Edgar doesn't lie. Why am I still single? Still single. Why am I still?
I want a wife and a family. This kind of life is not right for me. I told my guys how things can be. When I fall in love, I fall for real. I know you want me, don't waste my time. I want a girl that is set and fine. I'm going crazy, so please be mine. God, please, why?
The first time I ever joined a dating app was in secondary school. I think a friend introduced me to 2Go Chat. At the time, most social media apps were more about connecting with friends, meeting new people, growing your profile, finding love and opportunities if possible. I was already on Facebook, but Facebook back then felt like a family app. It wasn't really about dating. I mean, you shared your real pictures, real videos, real emotions, and real life on Facebook. It is not like now, where people create fake identities and hide behind fake pictures. Like back then, if The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, accepted your friend requests or sent a message, you were sure that you were talking to The Rock. If you smile! But now, things are so different that if you receive a message from The Rock, it is either you are talking to someone that works at Olumo Rock or you are chatting with The Rock that is stranded in Ibadan and needs your money to fly back to Hollywood. Social media has become a fake place where most people hide their real identities and sell fake perceptions instead. Again, I was on different apps at the time, but 2Go was the app for me. In my secondary school days, it was the biggest thing. You were not a cool kid if you were not on 2Go. Those days, your star level showed how cool you were. Sometimes I sleep with the app on so that my star would increase from veteran to master. It was crazy back then. We also had 2Go credits and lots of creative rooms where people would come and just keep it going and entertaining. And because of how the app was created, you could lie about who you really are, your age, your picture, even the spelling of your name. I know a guy who used Damilola, like Damieloleh, as the spelling of his name instead of Dami. Like, it was wild. But it created a room for people to date, or at least try dating. I can't remember my password, but my username then was Michael E. Yeah, I think Michael E or King Michael E, something like that, yeah. But you can check it out if you still use the app. You know, that's weird, but you can always check it out. For those of you who are confused about 2Go chat or do not even understand the reason why people find love using dating apps, well, there are a lot of reasons. First of all, dating apps speed up the dating process. The moment you find the person you like, it becomes easy. Two of you already know why you're there, so there is no beating around the bush. Fast, you know if you're interested or not. Offline, you have to meet physically, see the person, whether you are shy or not. After spending money, getting dressed, applying perfume, looking good, speaking well, and conveying the appropriate emotions, a Nigerian babe will still tell you are not her type. Can you imagine?
Oh, sorry. Don't cry.
Online dating gives you more of an opportunity to choose. Some people only love you because they have no choice. When they are upset, you hear comments like,
"If she leaves me, who will date me? You know how long it took me to get this babe now? Haba."
And I can't blame them. Some Nigerian girls are wicked and desperate. Online dating is different. If you don't like her forehead, just swipe. If her neck is too long, swipe. Keep swiping till you find the person you like. And pray to God that they don't see your forehead or long neck as a problem either, because they will just swipe. For some, out of sight is out of mind. They only love what they can see. But online dating allows you to date whether the person is on the next street or 2 countries apart. Especially with the creation of video calls, the greatest creation after Gala and Coke. If there is one thing we can all agree on, it is that meeting one-on-one can be exhausting and tiring sometimes. Dating apps are easy to use, but be careful. If the person seems too good to be true, best believe that the person is either faking their character or that person is a Yahoo boy or a hardcore womanizer, a Yoruba demon. Anyway, most of the dating apps I have joined are basically for the same reason: to kill boredom, get distracted, and find something or someone interesting. I sometimes enjoy flirting, but I have realized these days that flirting can be very expensive. You meet a girl you like and you try to impress her with money. She refuses and tells you she is not here for your money, but for your heart. Your love grows like you have found the perfect one, only for her to call you 4 months later to say that she needs help because her father needs a kidney transplant and will appreciate some money right now. You become lost, confused, and perplexed. My brother, fear Nigerian women, especially those who have used the lives of their parents to make money with one lie or the other. Fear Nigerian women. Now, my introduction to Tinder was a very interesting one. I went to visit my friend Emmanuel, or Noel, as we usually call him. If you listen to the last episode, you already know who this guy is. And if you haven't, then Noel is... You know what? Go and listen to the last episode, my friend. Go and listen to it. Anyway, I got to Noel's house, and what I observed that day really baffled me. Noel received over 15 romantic calls from different girls in the space of 1 hour. I was confused and furious. Why will any girl like Noel talk less of calling him my baby or sugar? Noel doesn't look like a baby. He barely has sugar at home, money, car, or anything a girl will like. This man had more hair than Samson on his chest alone. Anyway, later that evening, while we were gisting and catching up as guys now, I asked him about his secrets after so many calls. And that was when he introduced me to Tinder. The concept of Tinder is actually very simple. You create an account, set up your profile, add a couple of pictures, and you're ready to go. Like play. Before I knew it, people from my local area were appearing on my screen. I had to like or dislike them based on a few photos, a bio, and some tags. What kind of human being did I not see? Tall, short, fat, black. It was a lot. The most interesting part was reading the bios of some of these ladies before making a decision on whether I like them or not. I can't even start to tell you the different things they say about themselves on that app. One wrote, "Hello lovelies, I'm a chef. I make continental and African dishes. So you can see I'm not her for HK." Now HK means hook up, by the way. "DM with respect. Please don't text me if you are looking for HK girls, except you are buying my food." I'm not joking, guys. I'm actually not joking. You know what I'll do? I'll probably put this like on a screenshot somewhere. Just put it out. I don't know. Another lady wrote, it was Vivian. Vivian wrote, "I'm a very sweet girl with vibes, caring, and loving. Anyways, looking for sweet guys too." There were a lot of funny and interesting bios to read. After spending about 3 hours on the app, I came to the conclusion that there are 3 types of people on Tinder in Nigeria. The ones who are desperate for sex and romantic pleasures, the ones who are desperate for love and happiness, and finally, the ones who are desperate for money through sex. My point is that the app is made for people who are desperate. And with the way the app was created, be sure that the app will get you addicted and force you to keep swiping. But it was not long after the first time I used the app that I discovered Princess on Tinder. I can't remember why I downloaded it again, but as I was having my regular swipe out of boredom, a desperate desire to find happiness and love, I found a lady that just hooked me with her profile. Her name on her profile was Princess. She was 24 at the time, she was properly dressed, and she had this simple smile. Her bio read, "Hi, my name is Princess. Do not like my profile or you will regret it. Thanks." This one shocked you, Abby. When I read her profile, I was confused. Like, what kind of person is this? She's basically asking people not to chat with her. So why are you here? What form of strategy is this? I felt interested and invested. My coconut head would not let me rest, so I swiped right. The moment I swiped right, we matched. So that meant she liked my profile too and wanted to chat with me. I immediately sent hi. It took about an hour before she sent hello. I did not know what to expect, how this would go, or if I would like her. My plan was that if I wasn't feeling the vibe, I would just let it die naturally, or look for some other ladies to swipe right on. After spending quality time with Princess on Tinder, I realized that I had a very wrong impression about most women on Tinder. I used to think most people on Tinder use the app for desperate reasons, as I mentioned earlier, but I was wrong. Princess wasn't desperate at all. She had a different reason for joining the app. Her reason was revenge. She was different, focused, and on a deadly mission on Tinder. If you're listening to this story, you're about to hear a story that might break you a little bit, because it broke me. Some of you might be wondering, what was her mission? Why was she different? What was her story? What did she say that made me change my mind on perspective about Nigerian women on Tinder? Why am I still single? Continues after the commercial break. Promo. Not every dare game should start with, "We are all adults here." Nobody should take anything personal. What happens here stays here. This is a safe space. If you are tired of such games and you're looking for an interesting dare game to play with your friends, then I want you to check out the ultimate daring game. It's perfect for two players looking to spice things up with some friendly competition. Here's how it works. Each player picks a card, and the one with the highest number gets to dare the other person. With 100 hilarious dare cards, 20 special twist cards, and one loser's note for the person we know sabi. Checkout guarantees endless fun and laughter. So are you ready to challenge your limits? Get Checkout, the ultimate daring game now, and let the fun begin. Visit www.checkedgar.com to get yours. Yes, it is my own. It is my game. Buy it today. Let me start by saying this. Princess looks like every other lady you know. She is smart and beautiful, and she knows how to carry a conversation effortlessly. You can't spend 2 days chatting with her and not like her already. She seemed like a very lovable person. She has a way with words that just gets you to respond and flow in the conversation. She is conversant with almost every topic. So if you say something, be sure that she has an interesting comment to make. If you see her on the street, she looks harmless and pure. She can't hurt a fly. Her favorite words were,
"Be free. You're a free guy. Stay alive for me."
Pay attention to those words because you will hear them a lot in this story. I liked Princess from the first day we started talking. After a series of questions, I found out we were similar in so many ways. Her favorite color is black. She loves Arsenal too. She's also from Edo State. And she loves a good joke. Even her favorite food and mine are the same. Fried yam and eggs. It was like she had read my manual somewhere. I was in love. It was that easy. It was love at first sight, or let me say, love at first response. She was full of life. Our conversation flowed effortlessly, filled with laughter, shared dreams, and some crazy late-night conversations. I found myself drawn to her in ways I couldn't even explain. She checked almost all my boxes. On a good day, I sleep around like 9 p.m., but because of Princess, I would stay awake till 3 a.m. chatting and doing video calls. Oh, yeah. You know how you can be chatting with someone and then your mind just tells you, this is it. She's the one for you. She's the perfect woman. Exactly. Everything she said and did was nice. There was no way I wasn't going to date her. I just needed more time to be sure it was her. Not like I wasn't sure, but I wanted to be extra sure. Here is a quick advice. If someone you like seems too good and doesn't have a problem, it's either you're too blind to see or the person hasn't cracked yet. Whatever the case, all you need is time to get to know someone pretty well. Remember that. After a month of talking on Tinder, things started to change. First, she begged that we move the conversation to WhatsApp since she wasn't always online on Tinder. It made a lot of sense. I don't have to wait until she's online. I can just give her a call. So I gave her my number and life became easier. We would have video calls for hours and talk about almost everything. She was free with me. She would say and show me things you shouldn't tell or show a stranger. Sometimes, during our conversations, she would be totally naked, like completely naked. To her, she was just being free. To me, it was sweet madness. She said she didn't like wearing clothes as much and that the weather made things more difficult. Me, I was just thanking God for bad weather. She would often tell me to take off my clothes and be free, but I have strong head. I won't do that. My small chest was going to embarrass me. I did not want her to switch the conversation to,
"Are you okay? You look sick. Have you eaten?"
I had a way of cracking jokes out of topics like that. She said there were no limits to the things that we could say. One time, she told me about her body count. She said she had slept with 43 different men. Not 43 times, oh. 43 different men. My mouth was open like a fish. I did not even know how to believe it. A young lady of 24 has slept with 43 different men so many times. I was blown away. When I asked her why she had so many men, she reversed it and said so many men have her. She said she liked being free. That was her way of expressing freedom. She enjoyed having sex, a lot of sex. She would tell me different stories about different men she had slept with and how amazing the sex was. She was an addict. She often described herself as a vibrator. She meant that she was a machine, a powerhouse when it came to having sex. She would say that her body would itch after 3 days if she didn't sleep with someone. It was later that I even found out that her real name wasn't Princess. A young guy she had something with called her sex game royalty, and that was when she started calling herself Princess. That was how she got the name and started using it. Till this very moment, I don't even know her real name. She never told me that. Never. Now, at first, I thought she liked me because she wanted to have sex with me. I liked her because she wasn't boring, and she was wild over the phone. At that time, I had never had sex with anyone. The goal with sex was until after marriage. Am I still a virgin? That's a story for another day. Anyway, she didn't want to have sex with me. She said,
You don't look like you will ever survive if we ever had sex.
She said she liked me because she wanted someone she could just talk to. She saw me as someone she could say anything to, things my ears were too heavy to carry. She saw me as someone who was free. One evening, while we were on a video call, we were playing a game. The name of the game was Wild Questions. It's a game where you ask your partner the wildest question and they get to answer without holding anything back. The goal of the game was to build trust and reveal more about partners. I saw the game on YouTube, and since I wasn't dating anyone at the time, I felt Princess was the best person to play this game with. So that evening on a video call, as we started playing, her first question was,
If you were to murder a lady, what do you think her crime would be?
I paused for some seconds because I wasn't expecting that question. I have never thought about killing someone before, so it felt very difficult. After a while, my answer was that if I had to kill a lady by force, it would be because she killed a member of my family without legal consequences. Princess started laughing. She didn't even allow me ask my own question. Immediately, she asked another question. She said,
If you were to kill someone, what weapon would you use?
At this point, I was confused. I was getting worried. Why would someone be so excited about killing and dying like this? I mean, I was thinking the game would tilt towards sex and the different crazy experiences she had, not killing and using weapons. Anyway, my answer was that it would most likely be a bullet to the middle of the head. Straight death. No time. Guys, you needed to see how excited Princess was. Again, before I could talk, she asked another one.
Have you ever held a real gun before?
I was like, yes, while shooting a movie one time, I was given a real gun without bullets, since my character wasn't going to shoot anybody. She was smiling, After I was done talking, she smiled and asked me to ask my question. Before her questions, I was going to ask her to tell me the wildest place she has ever had sex. But because of her attitude and her series of questions, I had to ask a different question. So I asked, if you have ever had the chance to kill someone, who would you kill and why? Her response was a shocker. She said,
Every man in this world, starting from my father to his sons and his brothers, every single man will go down. I swear.
When I asked her why, she said,
Men are worthless and useless.
Before I could talk, she quickly added,
Well, every guy except Tisha.
I did not even know how to feel. Whether she meant she didn't see me as a man or because I was on a call with her, in my mind, it was the first red flag. Why would anyone want to kill her father and siblings if she had a chance? My head started boiling with different questions. I was just waiting for it to get to my turn again. Her next question was,
Can you kill your mom?
You needed to see the way my mouth opened. I was like, my mother? She said,
Yes, your mom.
Of course not.
Eh?
That woman has done too much for me. She has sacrificed a lot, putting her life on the line. I cannot kill my mother for anything. I would rather die. Princess started laughing. She now asked me,
Are you sure?
I started to wonder whether kill means something in another language. I was now forced to ask Princess, have you killed somebody before? She asked.
Is that your wild question, Edgar?
I said yes. She went quiet and started acting like her network was bad. Yeah, hello. I can hear you. Hello.
Edgar,
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello?
I can hear you. Hello. I can hear you.
Edgar.
I ended the call and tried calling her back, but she didn't pick my calls. She later sent a text saying that she was tired and wanted to sleep. Usually every night, when we're going to sleep, she would say,
Night. Talk to you tomorrow, Edgar.
but that night, she didn't. Her last message was,
Stay alive for me. Good night.
I started praying. Me that I don't used to kabash. You needed to see me that night. Kabashing seriously. Serious prayer. My own was that I hope she was not planning to kill herself. Before they say that is how depressed people used to do. I don't want a case where they will now call me and start asking me questions like,
Who is she to you? You were the last person she spoke with. What did she tell you?
me, I don't want a problem. I started praying seriously. After praying for like 20 minutes, I read Psalm 21, Psalm 91, Psalm 23, drank 2 cups of anointing oil, and I slept off. The next morning, immediately I got up, I checked my phone to call her when I saw a message from her saying,
Good morning, Edgar. Thanks for yesterday. I needed that talk. Thanks for making me free.
Hey! The next thing I noticed were these strange things she started posting on her WhatsApp status. She would post different men and write different captions under each picture. Each one was referred to as an animal. My goat, my fowl, my cow. She didn't post anything else, just men with different captions. I was always hoping that one day she would post my picture and write, my lion, or something sweet, but she never did. She never even asked me for my own pictures. I didn't think about it for a while. One day, while we were having our regular late night video calls, she was naked as usual and telling me about a movie she watched that afternoon. Somehow, I noticed a scar on her legs. Now I was curious because the scars looked like an accident or something. I wanted to know the story behind the scar. So when she was done telling me about her experience with the movie, I brought up the topic of tattoos and scars. I asked her if she liked tattoos, and she said yes, that her plan is to write the names of her children on her back if she ever gets married. When she asked if I did, let me not lie, I don't like tattoos. But, now, I had to play along. I was going somewhere. So I said, I wouldn't mind tattoo if it wasn't drawn with needle. She asked if I was scared, and I said no. I don't know why, but she started laughing. She also mentioned that she wants to use tattoos to cover her scars. Gang. She also told me that she wanted to know the stories behind my own scars and the craziest things I have done. The truth is that I have not done anything too crazy. Nothing too crazy at all. The only scar I have on my back was the one from bedbug. The craziest thing I have done is act like a madman to miss class in secondary school. At least, that's crazy. I don't know what she was expecting to hear, but that was what I told her, Sha. I now asked how many scars she has and the stories behind them. She looked at me for a while and started counting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where's that one? 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's one here. Another one here. Yeah, I'll look at another one.
As she was counting, she was showing me. She was showing me. I was just getting scared. If you see the big marks, hey, thank God for clothes. Like, thank God for clothes. I am sure the reason I didn't notice in the past was because I was too distracted looking at something else. If you know, you know. When she got to 15, she asked me to pick one so she could tell me the story behind it. I thought about it for a while and asked her to tell me the story behind the cut near her belly button. She said she was involved in a fight with a young man when she was 17. She went to his house after he told her to come visit him because he was ill, only for the useless guy to try and force his way with her. She said she had a penknife in her bag, and when she was trying to safeguard herself, he took it from her and tore her in the stomach. Blood everywhere. She said she couldn't even sleep with him that night because she had a lot of blood. To cut the long story short, she was able to make it to the hospital where she got stitched. In my mind, I thought that was the end of the story, but no, that was far from the end. She said that when she got better, she went back to his house and stabbed him as well. He also did not die, but she said his cut was bigger than hers. When she was done talking, I couldn't even say a word. I wanted to talk about other scars, but I could not. My stomach was already turning on its own. I wasn't ready for the story behind them anymore. So I just changed the topic and talk about her plans for the day and other things. If you know, you know. That very night, she called me and told me she wanted to tell me something. Something she had never told anyone before. Her reason for telling me was that she liked me and she saw me differently. She said she saw me as someone who wouldn't judge her and that she trusted a lot, that I was a free person. Now, before that night, we finally agreed to meet in person. We were already comfortable around each other. We planned on going on a date at the movies. I was excited because I was going to see her after months of chatting and video calls. My plan was that we watch a boring movie so that we can have time to do in the cinema. Wait first. For those of you thinking about sex, take your mind out of the gutters. I wasn't talking about sex. Do in the cinema is not sex. Do people actually have sex in the cinema? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not people. I don't know. Anyway, when she called that night, she told me she wanted us to play the wild question game again. She wanted to answer the question I asked her some time ago. So I asked again. Have you killed someone before? She said yes. She said she had killed 9 men she met on Tinder. I was scared. I thought she was joking. I was like, killed? Like, take their lives? She said yes. That was the moment she told me her story. She grew up with her father after losing her mom at a very young age. Her father wasn't one to take care of his children. He was a businessman. She said she had 2 younger brothers she had to take care of. Her father was more about working and drinking with his friends. So years ago, when she was still a child, her father's brother, her uncle, came around to visit them. He entered her bedroom while she was still relaxing and gave her a gift. She opened it. It was a pack of new underwears. He asked her to wear it in front of him. Now, she was young. I mean, what does she know? She opened it, removed her clothes in the room, and while she was changing, he touched her, kissed her, and put his fingers in her. She would cry and scream.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone, please. I beg you.
But he acted like he was only just playing with her. Her father did not care. I mean, his brothers cannot do something like that now. Never. Princess said he did this to her from the age of 9 until she was 12. She said that on her 13th birthday, he came to the house and raped her. He threatened to kill her if she ever told anyone. She was scared of this young man. Would you believe that he also told her that sleeping with her was the best birthday gift she could ever get? Now, Princess was brave and wasn't scared to die, so she told her dad. But instead of confronting his brother, her dad beat and tore her legs for accusing his brother wrongly. Her father also trained her younger brothers to maltreat and beat her whenever she scolded them. He was more of a men over women kind of father. the man is a king and the woman is a king's helper. She thought she was going to die until she gained admission to secondary school. And surprisingly enough, her father paid for her to stay in the boarding house. To her, it was a miracle from God, but she later found out it was a plan of the devil. She became scared of men. Different guys in school would sleep with her, touch her, and tear her clothes. No one will believe her when she speaks about it. Years later, her body became numb. She didn't feel the pain or pleasure of having sex anymore. It was more like a meal at that point. Her body needed it to survive. She was cold if she didn't have sex. She was hot if she didn't touch herself. She would masturbate and beg different guys to have sex with her. She was going through something. When she gained admission to the Polytechnic, she met ladies like her who introduced her to prostitution and how to make a lot of money from the business. She didn't join them for the money. She joined because that was her life. It was not until later her friend, who was going through the same thing with her father, told her about killing men, and she bought the idea. It was a plan, and her plan was to kill every man she slept with, whether old or young. So she started with desperate men on Tinder. Tinder was her means of revenge on men who wanted sex from her. She used it as a platform to correct those who wronged her, to reclaim power as a woman, and to control her life in the only way she knew how. It was a chilling revelation, one that sent shivers down my spine and left my head overthinking everything she ever told me from the very first day I swiped right. Now, I can't give names of the men she killed, but she told me the story and how she would do it. The very same pattern. She would accept them on Tinder, introduce herself to them, like what they like, fall in love with them, go watch a movie with them, book a night in an apartment with them, have sex, poison their drinks or food, take their pictures, and leave without traces. So she did this to 9 men. I was shocked. I didn't even know how to respond. My major concern was her uncle. I wanted to know the end of his story. I asked her if she had seen her uncle since her days in Polytechnic. She said yes, that she has tried to kill him before, but that she was just too scared to do it, and that the man is now even a pastor, that he has apologized to her many times and offered to pay for her masters abroad if she wanted him to. She said her reason for not killing him was not because of the value he was offering, but because she did not want to kill a man of God, not that she didn't know how to. When she was done with the story, she told me that the men she has been posting on her WhatsApp status for me to see are the different men she has killed. I was going to scream. I thought she was even joking or pranking me at first. But the way she described everything sounded like she knew what she was saying. Her voice was filled with anger, rage, and bitterness. And the weary mad woman was still smiling. The part that busted my brain was when she said I was meant to be the 10th person, that her plan was to kill me a while back. She said she kept waiting for the green light, but I kept pushing it. That she later changed her mind when she fell in love with me. My brain started to turn on its own. I was sweating like a goat. She said she changed her mind because she said she sees me differently, that I am a free man. The part that broke the plates was when she said that anytime she talks to me, she feels like a baby, and that I am the only one who can change her. Me? Change you? When I am not Jesus Christ? Or do I look like a conductor giving change? How can I change you? 9 men. 9 men. Hey, God. I was just using my breath to make sound. She told me that she prayed to God to send someone who would make her free and happy. She wanted to change, but she just didn't know how. She prayed to God to reveal her husband, someone that would change her by dating her and marrying her. She said that night she prayed, God revealed my face in her dream. She now added,
You know I won't tell you all this if I'm going to kill you, right?
That was when I knew that if I didn't speak, I might just be silent for life. So I spoke up. Guys, don't get me wrong, I like her a lot, which was true. But I had no choice. I told her that I also needed to pray to my own God to see her face too, before I take the next step. Let me not lie. I did not pray about anything. The next step was, how do I get her out of my life? How do I get this lady out of my life? How do I leave Princess's kingdom? I knew she was not the one for me. 9 men. How many fowl have I killed? Talk less of human beings. Something was just telling me, tell the police, or somebody at least. But I did not want to lose my freedom before she changed her mind and killed me. God forbid, Barton. Anyway, she told me she was excited about seeing me tomorrow at the cinema for the first time. That was when my brain clicked. Everything started making sense. She supports Arsenal because my picture on Tinder had Arsenal Stadium in the background. She said her favorite color is black after I said it first. Same thing with my favorite food and state of origin. I remember she kept saying me too to everything I said. I was thinking of an excuse because based on her story, after cinema is there too. I felt she was only just playing her card right, and I was going to emotionally fall for the trap. I did not want to die. After the call, the first thing I did was delete Tinder from my phone. Now, I'm not saying Tinder isn't a great app, but it just wasn't for me. I did not want a case where she would say,
Yeah, I used the app to find your house address.
God, I beg. Next, I told my friends, Fela and Noah, the story so that even if I died, they would tell my parents how loving and proud of them I was. Fela and Noah were just laughing at me. Stupid people. I tried everything to cancel the movies the next day, but nothing worked. The next day, we met at the cinema in Ikeja, City Mall. She got to the mall before me. I can't forget that day. When I got there, I called her and she told me she was upstairs waiting for me. I went up and from nowhere, one short girl just ran towards me and hugged me from the back. She was like,
Edgar, right?
I said yes. Princess, right? She too, she said yeah. We had ice cream and went to sit near the entrance to the cinema. While we were waiting for our movie to start, I can't remember the name of the film we watched, but I remember that in my head, I was just praying. I was just begging God to allow me to get home in one piece. She didn't look anything like the story she told me. If you had seen her that day, you would not even know that this girl has killed 9 men in her small life. She brought some snacks and drinks for us, but trust me now, I didn't eat the snack or sip the drink. I did not want to die. She noticed I was very quiet. I couldn't talk. I was just looking at her. When she asked why I was so quiet, I told her that it was because of my friend who was ill. She was so concerned. She wanted to help, but I knew that if I introduce her to any of my guys, they are better off as dead. Because those ones, they don't even have any form of sense at all. She will just make them 11 and 12. During the movie, we held hands and she kept her head on my shoulder. She noticed I was breathing faster than normal and asked if I was okay. What will I say before? I am okay, very okay. After the movie, she hugged me and told me I was the perfect guy for her. She said she was leaving Tinder and beginning her healing process with me. She now asked me if I had a girlfriend or I liked anyone. Something was just telling me she wanted to hear her name as the person I liked. But I told her I didn't like anyone for now and that I was just focusing on growth, development, and my God. She held my hand throughout our stay at the mall. When she was leaving, she looked at me and said,
Stay alive for me, Edgar. Goodbye.
I hugged her again, gave her a peck on the cheek, and told her to call me when she got home. When I got home, I first of all gave glory to God and thanked Him for His journey mercies. She later messaged me that she had gotten home and then we had a casual conversation that night. From that very moment, I started to withdraw slowly, small, little by little. First, I didn't have video calls at night as much. I told her I was reading for an international exam. That was never going to happen. Next, I stopped calling her babe. I called her princess. Let me respect the king on the throne. Then, I would deliberately miss her calls and respond late to her messages. Guys, we know the way we do it whenever you don't want someone to find you attractive anymore. Exactly. She will call, I will not pick. And hours later, I will give an excuse. After about 3 months of going back and forth, she sent me a message one day. She said, I know you are avoiding me because of the things I said about my past. I can imagine. I still love you. Stay free. And that was the last time I heard from Princess. We would later meet in 2021 when I was already a little famous. But that is a story for another day. Just before I conclude, I think it's important to say this. Before meeting Princess, I never knew the tragic stories some women had gone through in this world. I've always thought most Nigerian women on Tinder requesting hookups and sex were always about the money. I never knew some people did it because of the demons they were fighting inside. And I'm sure Princess's story isn't the worst out there. It's just one of them. So I want to apologize on behalf of every man, father, brother, male friend, best friend, or dog that hurt you in the past or present and forced his way on you one way or another. To all the princesses in the world, I say that we are sorry. I pray that may your neighbors respect you, troubles neglect you, angels protect you, and heaven accepts you. Be free. Stay alive for me. Amen. Amen. And that's the end of today's episode on Why Am I Still Single? I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then don't forget to subscribe. Share the podcast, give me 5 stars, drop a review, and let me know your thoughts. Show some love to my Patreon. Also, if you have a story to share or you need an ear to listen, then talk to me, let me know. Send me a message at edgar@checkedgar.com or go to my website www.checkedgar.com and send me a message in the Let's Talk section. I just want to talk. I want to share your stories as well. I want you to stay alive for me. Edgar@checkedgar.com. Edgar is EDGAR. Remember, the podcast ends the day I get married. So don't forget to tell your beautiful friend that Edgar is single and he would love to go on a date with her. If that lady is you, send me a message at edgar@checkedgar.com. Let's talk. All right, let's talk. Next week, we dive into an experience with a church girl. I know you don't want to miss this one. Edgar doesn't lie. See you next week Friday, guys. Check Edgar out.